This is a True American podcast. I'm your host. Guys, I have been really bogged down with a lot of work, but lately I just hit the internet and saw WLKY news, and it was contradictory. They were saying, hey, at this meeting, they were debating whether or not to keep a book in public schools, one or two of the public schools, a book called Gender Queer. And of course, the left is coming out saying, hey, it needs to stay. These folks are Nazis and they're like Hitler. Hitler banned all these books and they're being like Hitler, and they're trying, the people who want this book removed from the public libraries, they want to impose their worldview and their value system, etc., on other people. Lynn Reynolds, she's with JCPS, and she was making that type of argument. I thought that type of argument was absurd. But anyway, I'm not talking about that right now. And of course, the other side was saying, look, it's not a matter about banning books, ideology, Hitler, or anything of that nature. The book Gender Queer is pornographic. Now, here's what I'm going to say to folks on both sides of the question. Get the book, look at the book, and make your own decision. I really want to say that to parents. Get that book, look at that book, and make your own decision. Is it pornographic or not? If it is, then how do you feel about children being exposed to a pornographic novel? Now, let me tell you something. I've seen excerpts from Gender Queer. It was pornographic. I mean, that's when I saw it, I said, oh my Lord, this is pornographic. This is porno. I was shocked that anybody would write it, publish it, and then be able to get it in the public school system. And that's one thing that Lynn Reynolds won't deal with. Is she going to sit there? I'd like for her to go on record and say Gender Queer, that book, is not pornographic. I'd like for her to go on record and just saying that very simply, because that's the issue. Is this pornographic? Is it not pornographic? And if it is pornographic, why are we making this accessible to young people, children? I mean, that's just bottom line, folks. I've seen it. I saw Gender Queer. I've seen excerpts of that book. It's pornographic. I remember one time at a JCPS meeting, someone was just straight reading from the book. I think it was this book. Check me on it. Straight reading from this book. And don't you know, Corey Schultz said, man, hey, you got to stop reading that. That's pornographic. It's very nasty. He didn't use the word nasty. But he said, no, it's totally inappropriate. And the person turned around and sat down, made their point. Now, all of a sudden, we got to keep this book, Gender Queer, in the public school system because why? I don't know. I mean, but they got to keep it in there. And, how did this book go from one school board member clearly stating when he heard excerpts from the book, this is nasty, this is inappropriate, it's pornographic, to Lynn Reynolds saying, oh, no, it's completely appropriate. It's completely appropriate. No problem with it. Or then again, I might be wrong. She may not be saying that. But I'd like for her to go on record and saying Gender Queer is not pornographic. It is entirely appropriate for young people to read that book, Gender Queer. That's it. Doesn't need to say any more. Then I want you, everybody who's listening to this podcast, particularly parents, you go check that book out for yourself. You go look at it for yourself. Then you make the decision. Is it pornographic or not? And if it's pornographic, why would anyone, in particular JCPS, want to give pornographic novels to children? Who's behind that? What kind of mentality is behind that?